I knew something was off the second I saw that rusty tow truck creeping down my street at 7 in the morning, rolling slow, engine coughing like it hated being up that early, just like me. It slowed to a crawl right in front of my driveway, and the driver started backing up toward my truck, like he already knew what he was going to take. Man, nothing gets my blood boiling faster than someone messing with my stuff before I've even had my coffee. So I threw on a hoodie, inside out, didn't care, and stepped out onto the porch waving my arms like a maniac. Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing? I yell, half awake but fully annoyed. The driver hits the brakes so hard his clipboard slides off the dash. HOA called it in, he says through the window, not even looking me in the eye. Said this vehicle was violating parking regulations. Now, you gotta picture this. My black Ram 1500, perfectly parked, shiny from the rain last night. Tags up to date, sitting right where it's been for 5 years. My property, my rules, or so I thought. You're looking at the homeowner, I say, and that's my truck on my driveway. And right on. Cue. Like she had a sixth sense for drama. Here comes Zelda Trammell, the HOA president, marching down the sidewalk in her fuchsia pink tracksuit and sunglasses so big you could see your whole future in. She's got her clipboard tucked under her arm like she's about to hand out Oscars. Preston, she says, syrupy as maple on pancakes. You can't park commercial vehicles here overnight. It's in the guidelines. I nearly laughed. It's not a commercial vehicle, Zelda. It's my personal truck. No logos, no racks, no nothing. You know that. She starts flipping through her clipboard, like she's searching for an excuse to call NASA. It's in violation. I've warned you 3 times. No, you taped a note to my mailbox once, and it blew away in the wind. I shot back. That's not a proper citation, Zelda. I tell her. She ignores me, waves at the tow guy. Take it. I step between him and my truck. You touch this vehicle, and you'll be dealing with the police. Zelda scoffs. You're being aggressive, lady. I almost wanted to laugh. Now I'm the problem? You're trespassing and trying to steal my car. The tow driver's had enough. I'm not getting involved in a domestic, he says, hands up, slowly backing away like he just realized this wasn't worth the $50. Zelda's face turns the color of a ripe tomato. You'll regret this, Preston. You're not above the rules. I pull out my phone, start recording. Keep talking, Zelda. This is all getting documented. She whirls around and stomps off, mumbling about a board meeting. By lunchtime, the entire HOA board had an email in their inbox claiming I'd verbally abused and threatened her. Thing is, I'd already filed a police report, with video, with timestamps, detailing her, trying to tow my legally parked truck. The cop didn't even try to hide his annoyance. She called us last week on a kid selling lemonade. He shook his head. We'll take it from here. I figured that'd be the end of it. I was wrong. 2 days later, after a long hospital shift, I get home and find an envelope duct taped, to my front door. Not slipped in the mailbox. Not set on the mat. Like a ransom note. Inside, a letterhead from the HOA, signed by Zelda herself, accusing me of creating a hostile environment for board members and warning of a compliance inspection within 72 hours. No date, no time, just a big, vague threat dressed up in legalese. I poured a mug of coffee, sat down at my laptop, and started digging. Turns out our HOA bylaws, posted publicly, though not exactly easy to find, require at least 10 days written notice for any property inspection unless it's a public safety issue or there's an actual complaint on file. Neither applied to me. My lawn was trimmed, my truck hadn't moved an inch, and the place was cleaner than most on the block. I printed out the pages, highlighted the important lines, stapled them to her letter, and made 6 copies, 1 for every board member. If Zelda wanted a fight, she was about to get one. Next day, 2 men in khakis and HOA polos came up my driveway, clipboards in hand, trying to look official. I met them before they could set foot on my porch. Gentlemen, I said, holding up the documents, this inspection violates your own bylaws. No appointment, no complaint, no legal grounds to be here. They stammered. Zelda said we were authorized. She also said I threatened her. But there's a police report and video that say otherwise, I told them. They traded nervous looks. We're just doing what we were told. Next time, tell Zelda she can read a cease and desist. Because this is already with my lawyer. And I've requested a meeting with Officer Real from Precinct 6. That got their attention real quick. They muttered something about double-checking with the board and left. Never made it past the walkway. End of the week, 3 other homeowners came to me. Lillian, 2 doors down, Marcus from the corner, and Sam, an older guy I barely knew. All with similar stories. Lillian's mailbox was repainted in approved HOA colors without her consent. Marcus got fined for planting drought-tolerant shrubs, apparently unauthorized landscaping. Sam got billed over $500 for a fence. Repair he never approved, by a contractor who wasn't even licensed. A pattern was forming, and Zelda was always at the center. So I invited everyone over for coffee Saturday morning. We sat out back, paperwork everywhere, my little voice recorder running just in case. If Zelda could fake citations, she could do worse. Her cousin owns that towing company, Marcus said, flipping through documents. She's been funneling all the HOA towing jobs to him. That's a conflict of interest, Lillian said, eyes wide. She never disclosed it. She also used HOA funds to repair her own driveway, Sam chimed in. I checked last quarter's expenditures, emergency concrete work at her address. What sealed it was Marcus digging deeper. She's been billing the HOA for consulting fees. Under ZT Community Development. It's a shell, just a P.O. box and a fake LLC. She's paying herself. That was real fraud. The kind that lands people in court. We gathered every scrap of evidence, statements, screenshots, photos, HOA docs, and forwarded it all to the county's Homeowner Association Oversight Office and the local precinct. By Monday, Officer Real calls me. I need the footage from the truck incident, and I'd like to speak with your neighbors. This is bigger than we thought. We're talking embezzlement, misappropriation, possibly coercion. Friday rolls around. 3 unmarked cars pull up in the neighborhood. Zelda's pruning her roses like she owns the block when officers approach. They show her a folder, her mouth snaps shut. They don't cuff her, but they walk her home, come out 2 minutes later with her laptop and a box of files. By sundown, flyers are taped to every mailbox. HOA president under investigation for fraud. Emergency meeting Sunday. Sunday's meeting was wild. Packed, standing room only. Some folks angry, some just confused. The vice president, Reggie, sweating buckets, stands up front. I didn't know, he says. None of us did. She handled the books. You could have checked, Sam shouts from the back. Reggie nods. You're right. We failed you. Effective immediately. Zelda Trammell is suspended. We're appointing an interim financial officer and launching a full audit. Some folks cheer, some just laugh bitterly. Reggie points at me. If Preston Carr hadn't started asking questions, we'd still be in the dark. I just nodded, didn't need the spotlight. The board froze all spending, opened financial records to any homeowner. They amended the bylaws, third party. Oversight for any contract over $5,000. Zelda's cousin lost the towing contract on the spot. The last time I saw Zelda, she sat silent on her porch as investigators boxed up the last of her files. A week later, a moving truck showed up. No goodbyes. It took months to clean up the mess, but we did. The neighborhood got quieter, stronger. All because I didn't let her take my truck. But here's the twist. Real fireworks didn't come from the HOA, but from the city records office. Week after the meeting, a paralegal named Nina calls. Did you know your HOA filed a zoning modification on your parcel last year? I never filed anything. Someone did. Stamped, notarized, signatures not yours. The new plat map reroutes a utility easement through your backyard, which would mean I, not the HOA, would be stuck with repair costs. I pulled my deed, plat maps, nothing matched. Can you send me a copy? She does. My name's there, but the signature's shaky. Like a kid trying to fake a parent's note. Notary stamp was real, Zelda's niece. That's forgery. Abuse of authority. Officer Real agreed. Said they'd bring in the DA. Next night, investigators were in my living room scanning documents. By the end of the week, Zelda's niece lost her notary license. The DA requested every HOA zoning document from the past 2 years. Reggie calls me, says, we found something. I show up, he hands me a folder, ZTCD legal/maintenance. 3 invoices from a landscaping company, each for almost $5,000, marked completed, billed for easement clearing. But that work was never done. Called the company. They'd never heard of Zelda. Worse, a ledger entry showed a wire transfer to a bank in Nevada, not to the landscaper, but to ZT Holdings LLC. That's money laundering. This wasn't just incompetence, this was criminal. Next day, Zelda's home is sealed, computers and lockboxes seized. News crews everywhere. "Mr. Carr, do you think this will lead to charges?" a reporter asks as I come home. "I believe the facts will speak for themselves," I say, and walk inside. The next board meeting was in the community rec room. Bigger space. More people. Reggie announces the HOA's under temporary supervision. 30 days to submit a corrected budget, freeze all spending, hire an outside auditor. The DA's liaison steps up. Zelda Trammell has been formally charged with fraud, forgery, and misappropriation of funds. She's removed from her position. If you've been financially impacted, file a claim with the county. Someone asks, what happens to the stolen money? If restitution is ordered, it'll be returned to the HOA, the liaison says. Another asks, how'd this go on so long? No one thought to ask. Reggie admits. Meeting ends with a vote to dissolve the current board, hold a special election. I decline to run, but agree to serve on the oversight committee. Lillian, Sam, Marcus, all step up. 2 weeks later, Zelda's face is on the front page. HOA president charged in multi-state fraud scheme. She funneled over $48,000 into personal accounts, using shell companies, fake invoices, forged signatures. Facing prison, not just fines. The neighborhood changed. Budgets were posted publicly. People showed up to meetings, asked questions. No more secrets, no more threats. The next time I parked my truck in the driveway, crooked, nobody said a word. Then the first letter arrived. This time, official. Parking restrictions not backed by city ordinance. Voided. All past citations from Zelda's regime, gone. There's an invitation to a community forum to rebuild trust. I wasn't planning to go, but then Officer Reel called. There's something you should see at the meeting. The rec center was packed, but the mood was different, curious, not angry. Assistant DA Monroe stood up, ran through the whole thing. 5 charges against Zelda, including wire fraud, forgery, tampering with public infrastructure. Turns out she'd filed fake permits rerouting utilities through people's backyards, exposing us to thousands in repair costs, all to profit off phony contracts. Sam asks about the notary. Under investigation, Monroe says. Every document she processed is being reviewed. The DA's office is pushing for restitution and federal charges. Reggie steps in. New charter. All transactions over $2,000 posted online within 48 hours. Meetings recorded and public. No more than 1 term per board officer without a vote. Marcus chimes in. What about garden gnomes? Reggie grins. Only if you vote to keep those rules. Every homeowner gets a vote. No exceptions. A few weeks later, city contractors painted over every arbitrary red curb. Only city signs and markings were enforceable. Watching that fresh coat of gray go down felt like exhaling for the first time in months. Then a letter from the DA. Your documentation and cooperation were instrumental in securing the indictment. You prevented potential financial harm to multiple homeowners. Thank you. I tucked that letter in the back of my drawer. Didn't need an award, just some peace. First election under the new charter, I watched from the back. Lillian got secretary, Sam took treasurer, Reggie stayed president. This time, with everyone's approval. Afterward, Reggie made it official. Towing agreements dissolved. All old fines reimbursed. Walking home under a sky streaked orange and violet, I realized things still weren't perfect, but they were ours again. And as I backed my truck into the driveway, a little crooked, nobody cared. Porch lights flickered on, windows open, laughter drifting from a backyard too. Doors down. Wasn't perfect, but it was home. And this time, it was finally fair. Now let me throw it to you. Ever had a neighbor or a petty boss abuse their power and try to walk all over you? What did you do? Did you fight back or just move on? Drop your stories, your thoughts, right here in the comments. And hey, if you believe in standing up for what's right, share this with someone who needs to hear it. Maybe together, we'll make the next HOA horror story a little less scary.